Tokwe Balogun, popularly known as T.B. Joshua, was born on June 12, 1963 in Arigi Akoko, Ondo State. He was a Nigerian pastor, televangelist, leader and founder of Synagogue Church of All Nations, a Christian church in Lagos, Nigeria that runs a television station known as Emmanuel TV. It is believed that miracles accompanied his birth and that he spent 15 months in his mother's womb. According to him, his birth had been prophesied a century earlier. Joshua's Yoruba family included both Muslims and Christians. He grew up with a Muslim uncle after his father died. According to Synagogue Church of All Nations, he attended the St. Stephen's Anglican Primary School in Agidi Akoko, Nigeria between 1971 and 1977, and after a year of secondary school education, he left to work on a poultry farm. In school, he was known as Small Pastor because of his love for the Bible. Joshua was widely known across Africa and Latin America for his accurate prophecies, where he claimed to foresee events and personal details about individuals, healing and deliverance. He also had a large social media presence as his church services was being broadcast on television and internet with over 6 million followers on Facebook. Joshua was described by media outlets as the opera of evangelism and YouTube's most popular pastor. His church attracted pilgrims and visitors seeking spiritual guidance and miracles from all parts of Nigeria and around the world. At least 150 visitors lived with him as disciples inside his compound in Lagos, sometimes 4 decades. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, tens of thousands of pilgrims from Europe, the Americas, Southeast Asia, and Africa traveled to the church in Nigeria to witness Joshua performing healing miracles. Aside being known for his miracles, prophecies, and other religious activities, he was also known for being involved in philanthropic endeavors. His charitable efforts included providing scholarship, supporting community development projects, and assisting individuals in need. He was known for being generous and contributing to causes such as education, healthcare, and disaster. Joshua was awarded various accolades, notably receiving the Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic (OFR) by the Nigerian government in 2008 and being voted the Yoruba Man of the Decade. He was called one of Africa's 50 most influential people by Pan-African magazines, the Africa Report, and New African Magazine. By 2011, according to Forbes, Joshua was Nigeria's third-richest pastor, although the claim was immediately denied in a statement by the church. He was indeed a controversial figure. T.B. Joshua died on 5th June 2021 after one of his evening services in Lagos, Nigeria, just 1 week prior to his 58th birthday. His death came as a shock to most people all over the world because the circumstances surrounding his death was not initially disclosed to the public. His followers mourned the loss of their spiritual leader. In 2024, he was accused in a BBC investigation of raping, torturing and abusing followers over a period of almost 20 years. The accusations included instances of child abuse taking place in a compound in Lagos. BBC Africa's 2 years investigation stated that it had uncovered a web of deceptive practices allegedly employed by the late Nigerian televangelist to fabricate miracles and listed 6 ways the late church leader allegedly faked those miracles. Dozens of ex-Synagogue Church of All Nations members and 5 British citizens alleged atrocities including rape and forced abortions by Nigeria's late T.B. Joshua. The allegations of abuse in a secretive Lagos compound span almost 20 years. The BBC's findings include dozens of eyewitness accounts of physical violence or torture carried out by Joshua, including instances of child abuse and people being whipped and chained. Numerous women will say they were sexually assaulted by Joshua, with a number claiming they were repeatedly raped for years inside the compound. Multiple allegations of forced abortions inside the church following the alleged rapes by Joshua, including one woman says she had 5 terminations. Multiple first-hand accounts detailing how Joshua faked his miracle healings, which were broadcast to millions of people around the world. One of the victims, a British woman called Rhea, was 21 years old when she abandoned her degree at Brighton University in 2002 and joined the church. She spent the next 12 years as one of Joshua's disciples inside the compound in Lagos. Ray says she was sexually assaulted by Joshua and subjected to a form of solitary confinement for 2 years. The abuse was so severe, she says she attempted suicide multiple times inside the compound. More than 25 former disciples spoke to the BBC from the UK, Nigeria, US, South Africa, Ghana, Namibia, and Germany, giving powerful corroboratory testimony about their experiences within the church, with the most recent experiences in 2019. Many victims were in their teens when they first joined. In some of the British cases, their transport to Lagos was paid for by Joshua in coordination with other UK churches. Rhea and multiple other interviewers compared their experiences to being in a cult. Jessica Kaimu from Namibia says her ordeal lasted more than 5 years. She says she was 17 when Joshua first raped her, and that subsequent instances of rape by T.B. Joshua led to her having 5 forced abortions, while their other persons interviewed said they were stripped and beaten with electrical cables and horsewhips and routinely denied sleep. The BBC's investigation, which was carried out with international media platform Open Democracy, is the first time multiple former church insiders have come out forward to speak on the record. They say they've spent years trying to raise the alarm but have effectively been silenced. A number of witnesses in Nigeria claimed they were physically attacked and in one case shot at after previously speaking out against the abuse and posting videos containing allegations on YouTube. A BBC crew that attempted to record footage of the church's Lagos compound from a public street in March 2022 was also fired at by the church security and was detained for a number of hours. BBC contacted Synagogue Church of All Nations with the allegations in their investigation, but denied previous claims against T.B. Joshua. According to them, and I quote, "Making unfounded allegations against Prophet T.B. Joshua is not a new occurrence. None of the allegations was ever substantiated." End of quote. 4 of the British citizens who spoke to the BBC say they reported the abuse to the UK authorities after escaping the church. They say no further action was taken. Prophet T.B. Joshua's practices has always faced criticism from some people who were skeptical about his miracles and prophecies since he started his ministry in the early 1990s. Prophet T.B. Joshua has gathered so much controversy to the point where people both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria have queried his true identity and where he gets the power to do some of the miracles he does. His controversy and people's skepticism got worse in 2014 when a 4-story building belonging to the church collapsed, killing 116 pilgrims, all foreigners who came for spiritual exercise as scorn. That unfortunate incident dented diplomatic relations between Nigeria and South Africa, whose citizens made up the largest number of people killed in that incident. Prior to that building collapse in May 2012, the Cameroonian government, angry at news and rumors of rape, forced confinement, and other misdemeanor meted at their citizen, tagged T.B. Joshua, a devil in the house of God, in a press statement signed by Henry Eyebe Ayesi, Cameroonian Foreign Affairs Minister, and titled "The Devil is in the House," described T.B. Joshua as a son of the devil, pretending to be man of God. The minister warned hundreds of Cameroonians trooping to Lagos for miracles in Joshua's church to desist from taking the trip or face the consequences, as the country will not stand by them. However, no solid evidence of the alleged crimes were presented by the documentary to substantiate the allegation of the prophet T.B. Joshua. Opinions about T.B. Joshua and his ministry varies widely, as some still see him as a great spiritual figure who positively impacted the lives of people all over the world, while others continue to express skepticism about his practices.